got the spot, huh? Well, I'm coming for it. And there's nothing you can do.
Welcome to ESPN West Palm's High School Game Day, presented by Smith, Ball, Baez, and Prather. Here's your host, Theo Dorsey.
Good people. And Brian Rowitz in the house as well. It is the FHSAA playoff special here on High School Game Day. We got 21 teams, Brian. We got 4 1 seeds, and more specifically, the best part of all of this, all roads leading to the 305 this time around at Florida International Pitbull Stadium. So it's exciting times to be a fan of South Florida football, but then also people covering a sport where we know we might have some people in our back door playing or our backyard playing for some state championship games.
Yeah, no 7-hour commute to watch a state title game this year, so it'll make it more convenient for our Palm Beach County and Treasure Coast teams. Just head south, maybe not the best stadium, but maybe Pitbull will make an appearance. We're pumped up for the playoffs.
That's what I was about to say. If Pitbull, that's all. If we're going to have it at his stadium, newly and freshly named, I think we do need like at least a halftime show. We'll work on those details. We'll see what the FHSAA can work out. But let's get a quick look at our brackets, because I know that we're going to bring in some of these coaches that have made the postseason, Palm Beach County and the Treasure Coast, as well as talk specifically about the matchups and the road to those December 6th and December 14th state championship games. Look at Class 7A, Brian.
I know.
We have, of all the classes, we have so many teams that were dominant in the area. It looks like, 3 teams that were 1 or less losses in between Jupiter, Palm Beach Central, and Boca. And then also Treasure Coast. You can never sleep on them. St. Lucia's, I'm feeling good about that class.
Yeah, I mean, they're going to beat up on each other, unfortunately, early on. Region 3 first-round matchups.
Yeah.
Fort Pierce Central, Palm Beach Central, Lake Nona Vero, Treasure Coast, Jupiter. So they might, cannibalize themselves a little bit, but it'll be cool to sort of see them go head-to-head and hopefully end up with one of them representing the class in the end.
That's what I was about to say. If we know at the very least we should have a representative in the regional final. If you can make it to the regional final, you're just a couple swings away from the state championship game. In 6A, we got one team that we knew coming in West Boca. They're a 1 seed. We knew they'd be in the state playoffs. Then you got Royal Palm Beach.
Yes, I know. Chuck Kenyon, and he's scheduled to join us today. First time since 2015, the Wildcats in the postseason. West Boca, they've sort of become the expected. They were a down program when they started a few years ago. Now we expect that of Potts. But Coach Kenyon turning things around at Royal Palm. Excited to see them in the postseason.
And then Jamel Murray and those Atlantic Eagles back at it again. It's lonely at the top. They're the only team in our area in Class 5A, but strong team. They had a really strong strength of schedule. They battled their way through it. I expect them to have a good shot at a run. What's the biggest impediment to what the Eagles could be in that 5A class?
Well, I mean, it's the same thing it always is. The team that's knocked them out 3 of their last 4 playoff trips. It's St. Thomas Aquinas, the national power. The one change, though, Atlantic is the 1 seed in that region, which means if it is a regional final of St. Thomas versus Atlantic, it'll be in Delray Beach. It will not be in Fort Lauderdale at St. Thomas. We know how well the Eagles play at home, so maybe that'll be what they need to get over that hump against the powerhouse that is St. Thomas.
They rarely lose at home.
Yes.
Rarely lose in Delray Beach. Class 4A, we got John Carroll Catholic. We got the Jensen Beach Falcons. Again, 2 teams, kind of mainstays, but John Carroll was I mean, we didn't see that coming this year out of Mickey Broody and the bunch.
No, not at all. I mean, 2 years ago, state semis, a year ago, just a couple wins, and yet somehow they turn it around, an undefeated season. Heck of a job by Coach Grudy and the squad, so it's cool to see that. Yep,
and Tim Caffey going to, again, those Jensen Beach Falcons from the defensive side of the ball on through. They're going to play some tough-nosed football. We'll see what the matchups look like in Class 4A. We'll touch on those more specifically later. And then in 2A, we have a trio, Glade Central, the return of Glade Central under Coach Omar Hugabook. I'm hoping that we can get him on today. Burek and those Kings Academy Lions, and then Somerset Canyons. For that class, it is going to take a heavy effort, but there's a chance we can get somebody to make a deep run in that one as well.
Yeah, Kings Academy, undefeated most of the year. Obviously Coach Burek not happy with the way they ended the year, but he said they learned some lessons from it. They had a bye week last week. Glade Central, the turnaround that was that season, the fact that they're in this mix and hosting a playoff game, which will be pretty cool. And then Somerset Canyons, they were one of those bubble teams, but they found out last night they are in, and now they get a shot to play in the postseason yet again.
We'll have to look at their matchup. They're going to be a sleeper because they're probably seeded a little lower than what they actually have based on talent. All three of these teams started this year really strong, kind of went out on a bit of a whimper, but again, that's why they play the games. We'll see what they do in the postseason. Class 1A, there we have it. We got St. John Paul, we got St. Andrews, and just a couple schools named Benjamin and Cardinal Newman. No biggie.
And that's the thing, we've gotten plenty of feedback all year about Benjamin in our top 10 poll. Played a tough schedule, didn't have a winning record, but they battled all year long. They're the 3 seed in that region.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, they have to go on the road because they didn't win the district. But we know what Coach Kresser does. That team will be battle tested in the postseason. Excited to see what they do. And then Newman, another one. They've had some Chaminade Madonna. We know what a power they are. The only way, though, Newman sees Chaminade would be with the state title on the line. Not regional finals like we've seen the last few years. So maybe that opens up things for Coach Daniels and the squad.
That would be incredible. I believe that, South Florida needs that, right? You get it in the second round every single year, technically like the third round if you qualify it the way that other classifications roll. But I would love to see what it would look like, Newman versus Chaminade, finally on the big stage, because it does feel like those have been the 2 best teams in Class 1A in the state. They'll get a chance to prove it. And then right there in Rural, Pahokee is they're either a sleeping giant or they are the giant. And in Rural, they have a chance to show people that the Blue Devils are back as well.
Yeah, a 6 seed, and Coach Lamons, played for the Blue Devils. Now he gets to coach them. So now he gets an opportunity to lead them into the postseason. That is a team that is used to winning. That is a school that is used to winning. Yep. Coach Lowe's turned them around this year, part of the muck turnaround between Pahokee and Glade Central. So excited to see what they do this year.
Yep. Carlos Lamons, he's, again, for both Pahokee and Glade Central to have first-year coaches come in who both are also, alumnus and have that quick of a turnaround, have this good of success. We'll see how deep into the postseason both of those coaches are able to go. But, Brian, this is just, again, we've had this state title drought in this area for the FHSAA level since, 2014, that a title hasn't been vacated. American Heritage Delray. Oh, wait, you're muted. You muted yourself, I think, on accident.
Sorry about that. In 2013, Jack Daniels and Dwyer won. 2016, Pahokee did win. They'd have to forfeit that. We've seen some teams go to state title games, but even that's been a while. 2018, Kings Academy. 2017, Atlantic and Oxbridge. It's been too long since we've had a team playing for a state title. Hoping to see that end this year.
One of the coaches we're bringing on is Carlos Lamons. He's one of the last, I think he won the last Pahokee state title that wasn't vacated, 2008, before he went off to Buffalo to go play football with Khalil Mack and whatnot. So looking forward to talking to him about what it's going to be like to be playing some postseason football in Pahokee once again. Who are we thinking about lining up as one of the first guests to jump on and talk some ball here this Saturday?
Yeah, so the plan is to sort of just go through the region starting rural. We're going to hear from Coach Lamons, trying to get him hooked up right now.
Gotcha.
Coach Gonzalez from Somerset Canyons. The weird thing about the FHSA rankings is a lot of times these coaches don't actually know how to figure out if they're in. If you win your district, you're in. Coach Gonzalez is one of those teams. They didn't win the district, so they were watching when we were watching last night to see if their name showed up in the bracket. So we'll talk to Coach Gonzo about what that was like.
I was going to say, too, because it's of all the states I've covered high school football specifically in, this one has the most ambiguous way of showing who's going to make the postseason and whatnot. So I get why it makes you put much more weight on those district titles because if you win it, it simplifies everything. But man, it's weird.
And then also the fact that this week was weird because of the makeup games. You had some teams playing Wednesday, you had Thursday games, you had some Mondays. It's all just jammed in there, and then you sit back and wait. They weren't updating the rankings, so unless they were breaking out the pen and paper themselves and doing the math, a lot of these coaches, if they didn't win district, didn't know until last night that they were definitely in.
Definitely not. And I will say this too for Somerset: strong start. They closed the season 4-6. Mm-hmm. That is, you get your gift is you get to get into the playoffs. The curse is that you got to go at Cardinal Mooney, which is one of the stronger teams in the state year after year. So,
yeah, but they're in it. And if you're Coach Gonzalez, you got that team in it. This is a new program, less than a decade old. You're going to get an opportunity to play postseason football, which is really all you can ask for if you're Somerset Canyons.
Absolutely. So if you were to we've been trying to predict out what it's going to look like, what our Thanksgiving is going to look like and whatnot. But now that we have our first initial look at the brackets, Brian, I know for myself, I think there's a good chance we do have 3 or 4 or 5 even games with local teams in it Thanksgiving week. Are you starting to think, okay, I'm gonna have to put those leftovers aside that Friday and get back to them Saturday? Are you already plotting for that?
Yeah, I think so. I think obviously we talked about 7A. We have all those teams there. Palm Beach Central is the 1 seed. Santa Lucia's has a 4 seed. I wouldn't count them out. Same with, how about the 3 seeds and Region 3 and Region 4 of 7A, Jupiter and Boca Raton. It's hard to go against either of those teams. Coach Sav, Coach Crabman, all those guys do is win, and they get their teams ready to play. So I would definitely expect that in the postseason. So 7A, I think we might have a little bit of a run there.
Yeah. And then again, the regional finals get pushed back a week than where they're usually typically at because of the storm that hit. So regional finals are going to be Friday, November 29th. If we have teams in those regional finals, it's going to be a packed out schedule, and we should have them in a bunch. I do really like our chances, obviously, in Region 3. Vero Beach, I can't wait to see what Lenny and the Fighting Indians have in this postseason, because it was a weird, tumultuous, regular season, not what you typically see from Vero Beach. You got a freshman quarterback playing, right?
Yeah.
So that's gonna come with a little bit of volatility, but I do think that they're a program that's used to being at this stage, and they get a home game to start it off.
Yeah, and it's funny also, I think all 3 of those Treasure Coast teams, different paths to get there. Vero Beach started slow, finished strong. Treasure Coast didn't do a lot of winning, but they did enough to get in the postseason. Yep. And then Fort Pierce Central getting to the playoffs, first time in a long time since 2014. So first time in a decade. And there they go. They're getting an opportunity to play. It's impressive.
I think that, too, for Jupiter High football under Crabman, year 3 for him and that staff? I'm curious, you're playing against now a Treasure Coast team that is a power, a team that's used to being there. Jupiter is new to this stage, new to competing at this level over and over again. Last year, they had their first taste of playoff football for many kids on their roster, but a lot of those kids came back. So, with that experience, like 2 or 3 years ago, if you told me Jupiter was playing Treasure Coast in the playoffs, I would have thought that game would be in Port St. Lucie.
Right, exactly. But they go out there, they got in, they played a really tough schedule, and we know Coach Orr always has them ready. And then the fact, Jupiter 2 years in a row to get there under Crabman, it's impressive what they're building up there.
Yeah, and that game is going to be very telling. I think it'll be a good measuring point for the Warriors program. We know how far y'all have come. We know y'all made that postseason trip last year. Do you get a win in the postseason, and then do you do it against a storied program, against one of the longest tenured coaches in the area as well? I'm trying to look back now into our database and see, yes. So Jupiter has never beaten Treasure Coast. They played 4 times since 2009. Not only have they never beaten them, those scores have not been close. The closest match was 28-13 in 2015. So 2 shutout losses to Treasure Coast. The other 2 not very close. This is this will be a big line of demarcation for where Crabman can take that Jupiter program this year.
Yep, and let's go to one of our first guests here. We have Coach Carlos from Pahokee joining us as the Blue Devils back in the postseason.
Coach Lamons, how you doing on this Saturday morning?
I'm doing great, man. I'm doing great.
Coach.
I'm out here at our youth football game. Yeah, I can hear you guys. Can you hear me?
Yep, I got you.
Can you hear me? Okay.
Yep, I hear you.
I'm doing great,
you said
man.
you're out at a youth football game?
Yeah, I'm the president of our youth program. So we're in the Super Bowl. Our championships are today. I have 4 teams in the championship. So.
Okay, well, number one, congrats on that. I know that a big part of being able to create and build a strong program in that town with that school is to be involved in the youth sports. How many of them you feeling favorable about? You said you got 4 teams in the championship game. Are we walking away with 4 titles?
I'm biased. So, yeah.
That's what we like to hear. When you saw your draw for the first round, you're going to be able to play at home, but you're facing a Chipley team. What do you know about them so far? And then also, what was your initial reaction to your seed?
Well, it's pretty exciting to be in the playoffs, man. It's not taken for granted. It's a lot of teams able to make it. So to be able to be in the postseason, man, means that you may not have done the job you wanted, but you've done something. You've done good enough to be in the postseason playing. And I did take a look at Chipley. They are a pretty good team, man. everybody in the postseason now has something to play for. So the seeding really doesn't matter at this point, man. It's all about going out there and doing the best you could to secure a victory. So each game by game, day by day, quarter by quarter, half by half.
Coach, you've experienced playoff football at Pahokee as a player. What's the atmosphere going to be like Friday night on Anquan Bolden Field as you guys host this playoff game?
It's gonna be electric, man. We have a fresh set. We have a new energy, a newfound energy in the community, a newfound support. Establish that old culture and tradition, while maintaining a new wave of how things have been done. So it's gonna be electric, man. We looking to come out and put on a great performance for the community, man. To get some momentum in the playoffs, man.
How do you grade that regular season? I know that it's got a sting not being able to get that one game out in the muck, that one out at Belle Glade. But when you just reflect on the first year regular season as a head coach and what this program was able to do, how do you judge it so far?
I mean, got to take the good with the bad. We finished 6-3. It was a lot of trials this year alone. To be a first-year head coach, I had 3 games that should have been rescheduled. Ended up rescheduling only 2 of those games. Missed 2 games due to hurricanes. So that alone made this season just, it's been a rough one, man. But we pulled through. We kept it together. And man, we head into the playoffs. So I mean, it was a great first season. The kids bought in. Obviously, you want to win every game. We didn't, and we definitely didn't. We fell short of that Mutt Bowl game, which it does sting. But it's a part of the process, man. It's a part of the process. We still building. We still getting a community. You know what I'm saying? Something to look forward to. So, hopefully we could deliver this state championship this year, man. We on a state championship run right now, and right now that's what matters to Pahokee, a championship.
That's what we like to hear, man. And I know you were a part of the last state championship game for the Blue Devils. So first and foremost, you take care of what's out there today and bring back all 4 titles for the youth program. and then we'll meet you at Florida International.
Hey, we're
Oh yeah, Rule. Y'all are.
I forget the name of it. Yeah, I have the address. I already
Brian, you're muted again, but yes, yeah. Where's the place, Brian?
I think they're the Villages, but we'll be there. We're the state titles on the line. Blue Devils are there. We'll be there also.
We'll have man. I like it. I like it.
All right, Coach Lamage, you have a good one, man.
All right, man. You guys too.
That was Coach Carlos Lamage there for Pahokee Blue Devils. Good to see him. Look, not resting on his
laurels. He's ready to go. Let's keep it rolling, though. Class 2A. Not Cade. Cade's not coaching Class 2A.
Cade Chumsland pops in. We have a more special guest, even though we're glad to bring you into the conversation.
Oh, that is for sure.
Coach Gonzalez, Somerset Canyons, one of the bubble teams. The Cougars, though, are going to the postseason yet again.
Coach G, you there? Okay, he's gonna pop back in while he gets his camera and microphone situation together. Yes, Somerset Canyons, one of the teams that had no clue. And again, it speaks specifically to the ambiguity of how the FHSAA runs this thing. You play a strong schedule. You hope that your wins are strong enough. You hope your losses don't hurt you enough in these power rankings. And if you don't win that district, you're sitting back and you're watching. It's not like they're going to text you ahead of time and say, hey, Coach G, we got you.
Right.
Nah. You're going to learn with the rest of us.
Right. I guess starting with that, Coach G, what was Friday night like for you? We're trying to get stuff out on Twitter. We don't have a practice to prepare for. What was it like for you finding out?
What's up, guys? How you doing?
Good, man. How about yourself? Did you hear us? We're curious how you found out you will be playing football in the playoffs, and if it was anything like this, I'm sure it was a bumpy road. We'll figure out his technical difficulties there, but Brian, it's almost like Selection Sunday for March Madness teams.
Exactly. Well, let's move on to 4A, to a team that actually knew they were in. There was no debating whether they were in an undefeated regular season. Coach Grudy, John Carroll joining us here. I guess a less stressful Friday for you, Grudy, right?
Yeah, definitely nice to not have to sit on the bubble like Coach Gonzo and those guys, but just gives a lot of credit to our guys and being able to take care of that district championship in week 9, I think it was, just made the rest of the season just a little bit less stressful.
I'm going to do something right quick, Coach Grudy, because I just noticed a trend here. I think we're 3 for 3 on our high school football coaches that are all taking this call from the car.
I was going to say that. I was going to say that. I'm glad I keep the trend going because I saw the first 2. And I'm like, should I change my scenery?
Is that y'all's only place of solace? Are y'all all road tripping on Saturday mornings? Like, what gives?
Yeah, Saturday's family day. I'm actually here about to watch my nephew at the St. Helens Festival do a little show. But, yeah, it's family day, so I'm sure everyone's on the road with their families.
I absolutely love it. Absolutely love it. Yeah, so, Brian, you can get back to the football of it all. I just was curious as to what was going on here.
Well, I guess in terms of the football, Grudy, like, what was the key to the turnaround? State semis 2 years ago, a disappointing season by your standards last year, now an undefeated season. So what was the key to that turnaround?
I really have to give credit to our kids and our seniors, especially nowadays with the transfer portal in high school and everything like that. You go 3-7, odds are you're probably going to lose a lot of kids, but we lost nobody. And our kids started working, hard in off season in January throughout the summer, and they really just became a close knit group. They're always sitting together at lunch. They're always together outside of football and school. And I just think that speaks volumes when you can create a culture that we've created, even though the down year at 3-7, and come back and do what we do. It's kudos to our kids. They've done a phenomenal job all year doing everything we've asked of them.
Coach, your schedule obviously wasn't the toughest in the state, but how important was it for the kids to end Friday nights with a W, right? Like that feeling that helps build momentum, because you can make a tough schedule and go 3-7 or 2-8, and that can kind of discourage some high school age kids. How important was it to end every game with a W?
I think it's very important. It just kind of caps off the week of hard work that our guys did. I got a little bit of criticism beginning in the year because I petitioned us from go to 1A to 4A. So we actually moved up 4 classifications, playing in a bigger district, playing at schools that are bigger than us, So I got criticism that we weren't going to be competitive because we were moving up. And to go undefeated, especially in district and a localized schedule, and end 10-0, I think that speaks volumes. I'm not really sure how they come up with the strength of schedule rating based on, I don't know if it's based off opponents' win-losses, but I thought a lot of the teams we played this year were very good football teams.
We talk about playoff experience. Your guys from 2 years ago probably are all gone. Is there anyone on this roster that has playoff experience?
Very few. A couple of our seniors now were definitely on the team, part of it. Cole Bates in particular, our middle linebacker, was a part of the defense, so he's still here. A couple other guys, D'Angelo Bonilla was at corner at the time. Now he's kind of our nickel guy. So we got a few, but I think we just kind of take it 1 week at a time. Don't really matter what kind of game it is, what the stakes are. We just kind of focus on who our opponent is and go from there.
What do you think about Dillard? Early thoughts? Do you have any history playing them, or have you seen them in person?
So not in coaching. I attended St. Thomas Aquinas for high school, so we played them quite a bit when I was there because they were in our district. So I have seen them. I know a little bit about them. I know they're going to be athletic. I know they're going to be big and fast and physical, and it's something we're looking forward to.
I did some scouting for you last week against Joaquin Garcia. They got some ball hawks at corner, but your offense is ready for that.
Yeah, I think so. I think our offense has done a good job all year. When teams do a good job taking our pass away, we've been able to run the ball, and vice versa. When teams take the run away, we're able to pass it. So going to dive into the film, a little bit this evening, and then also all day tomorrow to really see what we're going to see. But I know they're going to have athletes all over the place.
One last one on the way out. Are you – I know that you just want to make the postseason. You're glad you have a home game. Are you a little disappointed in the 4 seed, given that you guys did take care of your slate and you feel like your sprint to schedule might have been a little bit undervalued?
No, not really. It doesn't really matter to me. I knew we were in, which was kind of our goal. At this point, I don't, and especially in our region, I see it on the screen there. You look at teams 1 through 8. I don't think there's an easy team on that schedule or in that region. So it didn't really matter, I think, where we were seated. I do like that we're at home. That's a big advantage, I feel like, especially because Dillard has to travel a little bit. But other than that, those are 8 good teams, well-coached teams. So I don't really think it mattered where we were seated. Our guys are just ready to go ahead and compete.
Gotta love it. Perfect answer, especially going into a postseason match. We'll continue our Coaches from the Car series as we let Grudy get back to family day. I appreciate you and good luck this week, man.
Appreciate you guys. Thanks for all you do.
Yes, sir. Thank you. That was Coach Mickey Rudy.
Yeah, I've got some breaking news. The trend is continuing. Here is Chuck Kenyon from his car.
I demand you get out of your car, Chuck. I know you got a nice, beautiful home. You got
is he at the cage? Are you tailgating?
What the heck is going on here? He's at the Miami game?
I'm not at the Miami game. We're about to watch it, but you guys are killing. If I can change the screen.
Shout out to Chuck Kenyon for tackling technology this morning. Look at that.
Yeah, okay. He's by the lake. That's a beautiful. You see, that looks much better. But yeah, we are now 4 for 4 in coaches from the cars.
You can't ask us to take time out of our 1 day freaking off and expect us not to be doing something. Like, don't just sit around.
If it was 1 or 2 of y'all, I would excuse it. 100% is just a little too far extreme. Judd, what did you think, man? You had an excellent season. First and foremost, congratulations on getting Royal Palm Beach back into the postseason. When was the last time the Wildcats made it?
2015.
14, I think. It was been 10.
So milestone year already. When you saw your seeding, when you saw your matchup, what was your initial reaction?
Road Warriors, let's go. We just I'm not gonna lie to you. I got a little nervous when they went when the FHSAA did the brackets. They did 1-8, and then they went down the list, and like it got to the point where they did 6 of the 8, and I was like, man, we might not have made it. and then turned right back around, and we got the 6th seed. We're going to Wiregrass Ranch. They got a really good running back over there who's committed to Iowa. We got our work cut out for us, but we're in the dance, and to quote the famous Works movie of Dumb and Dumber, so you're telling me there's a chance.
Well, I guess on that note, like, it's one thing to talk about a turnaround and building a program and win games, but to have a postseason berth validate that, how important is that to your building of this program?
Well, I mean, it just solidifies the hard work and the dedication that both the players and the coaches have had. I can see from the Kickoff Classic this year to right now where we're at, like, just the growth, not only with the players, but with amongst my coaching staff. I brought a couple of guys in that we didn't have in the previous seasons, and we with all relationships, you have some growing pains, and we had some growing pains not only on the sideline but in the coach's office. But like to see the growth there and to see it on the field is really a testament to everybody involved, especially my coaching staff and my players.
Coach Kenyon. Kate, I knew you wanted to talk to him because you crowned his win over Dr. Joaquin Garcia the game of the year. So,
in my defense, it was the game of the year. And of course, the next day, the Muck Bowl goes into overtime. So I don't know what to say, okay? But Coach Kenyon, going back to that game, Dr. Joaquin Garcia, you guys make a last-second drive to kick the game-winning field goal. First time you guys winning 7 games since 2014. That game was dominated by underclassmen, sophomores, and freshmen in particular. What can you say about the young talent on this team?
Well, I mean, I've been preaching the last couple of years now. We literally have freshman and sophomore players that should, for all intents and purposes, be playing on JV, and they're playing on Friday nights, or Thursday nights in our area now too. So, they're really getting acclimated, trial by fire. But their growth is going to be exponential when they start to become, sophomores, juniors, and seniors, because they've already gone through that transition. They've already seen, the tough competition. I mean, we played West Boca last Thursday, and we had 4 turnovers in the first half, and you can't do that against great teams, and some of that was them, but some of that was us, and we would have needed to play a legit, perfect game and need some help. But at the end of the day, I'm proud that the guys at the end of the game, they kept fighting. We were right there inside the 20, trying to go for another touchdown, trying to go for a score. So that showed me something. That showed me that those young guys are really, really coming together, and really, really their growth mindset is really, through the roof right now.
Coach Kenyon, I'm curious. You just got you got a close up and personal look at that West Boca team. How are they as good? I haven't seen them in person this year. Like how good are they? Are they the type of team that can make it all the way to a state semifinal or a state final this year?
I mean, they're loaded top to bottom. They got a good staff. They've got, I was looking out there when they were doing their warm-ups pregame. I think I counted like 13 coaches and everything else. I mean, they got a really good job. They've done a really good job of building that thing up. They've got a superior weight program. And then they've got great players all across the board. So, they're going to be a tough team to battle against, going down the road. But, you never know. And on any given night, you just never know if the football gods are shining upon you. So, but like much kudos to Coach Potts and his crew and all of West Boca. They've done a very good job down there.
Last one for me. How did the kids take in last night? Like, is it just a waiting period all week? Like, hey, we might have practice Monday. Like, what was that like for the team?
Well, and that's what I told them, because I communicate with the kids through Band app. So that's my level. That's my technology level that I communicate with them. And I told them, after the game on Thursday, I said, we'll know something tomorrow night, at 6 p.m. and just be prepared. But I told them, I think we have a good shot at making the playoffs. We just have to see where we're seated and where we're going. Ironically enough, there was times where we were just sneaking into the playoffs, and if that would have transpired, and we'd have been the 8th seed, we'd have played West Boca back-to-back weeks, which would have been tough on everybody around. But that didn't work. That didn't work. I think our strength of schedule jumped up and had us jump a couple of teams. And then I know Steinbrenner beating Largo, that was for the district championship. And if Largo would have beaten Steinbrenner, I don't think Steinbrenner makes the playoffs. But because Steinbrenner did beat Largo, that kind of had them jump a few people as well. So that let us go up to the 6th seed. So, I think Wiregrass Ranch is going to be a tough opponent. Like I said, they got the Iowa commit, but we're in the show, we're in the dance, and we're going to put our best foot forward.
Gotta love that. You can get back to the golfing or whatever else you were doing on your off day. And I appreciate you jumping in here with us, Coach Kenyon. Good luck this week.
No, I appreciate you guys as well. And thank you for your coverage and everything you guys do. You guys do a great job.
Oh, man.
Appreciate you, Coach.
Special, man. I mean, shoot, likewise when you see what happened out there at Royal Palm. That's going to be an interesting one. I love that we have a couple of teams in Class 6A. We also now are bringing in another very special guest, huh?
In a second. We're about to have Coach Clavijo joining us here soon.
Okay. I didn't know if it was right.
Okay, there we go.
There he is.
Not in a car?
Where are you at?
Man, I got a phone call and then it disconnected me from the chat. I don't know what was going on, man.
Where are you currently located? Are you nowhere near a car right now? Because all 4 of our previous coaches were in cars. It looks like
no, I'm at
Great Outdoor.
I'm at my son's soccer game right now. So
okay. There we go. Coach Hector Clavijo joining us, St. Lucia's head football coach. How did you consume the playoff rollout? Did you watch the video? Did you see how did you find out where you will be seated?
Yeah, so actually we had a watch party at the school last night. So we watched some film from the previous game. We conditioned, we lifted, and then we had a watch party. So we got pizza, popcorn, drinks, had a whole little watch party at the school, and we were able to watch it live as it came out. So pretty cool deal there. I got a nice video of it on my Instagram now.
Okay,
Coach,
let's dig that up. I like that.
Yeah, look at that. Before Santa Lucia's, you came to us from Miami where you're winning state titles down there. A Miami matchup in the first round in South Dade, a win, and you probably take on Columbus in the second round. How familiar are you with these Dade programs?
I mean, I'm very familiar with South Dade. I mean, I grew up down there. I went to South Ridge. So I'm pretty familiar with them. And I was able to go down and watch them play last week. And so I've been able to get a good eye on them. And then Columbus is Columbus, you know what I mean? I don't think they're the Columbus of old, but they're still Columbus. So they're good programs. I mean, we're in a tough bracket. But I'm excited, man. The boys are excited. We're ready to, get down here and play some good teams. And we're pumped up, man. It was a fun night last night.
What do you think y'all have improved the most throughout the season here? Because I know that it was the start based on what you did in the kickoff classic and even the week 1 or 2, sometimes it was shaky.
You know,
but
I
then y'all
think
went on
what
a
we've
run there.
improved on the most has really just been running the football. You know.
What'd you say, Coach? You said y'all
Am I
improved
still
on the run
here?
game. Yeah. Is he there? Can y'all hear us? Can you hear me, Coach Clavijo? Hector? Brian? Can anybody hear
Yeah, I
me?
got you. Yeah, you're
Okay.
around, Theo.
All right. Okay. Coach Clavijo, there he goes, and he's out. I was gonna ask him. You saw Jamar Browder,
Yes.
switch his commitment to Michigan. He must have been really showing some flashes this season. I didn't get a chance to see him in the back end of that schedule there.
Sorry, guys. I think every time I get a call, it freezes my whole.
You're a busy
my whole
man.
deal.
Everyone wants to
Yeah.
talk to Coach Clavijo.
I'm
But no,
like,
I think the question was what have we improved on. I think we just improved the run game. You know, we kind of figured ourselves out, put the right pieces on the offensive line. You know, we moved Israel Marion, the running back, and he's been an incredible spark. I think he scored 15 touchdowns in like 4 games. So, you know, I think he's providing that spark that we needed on the offensive side of the ball. And then, you know, we're starting to gel together here at the right time, I think.
Jamar Browder, big news from him recently. Maybe that's what your phone was blowing up about. What's his elevation been like this senior year for y'all as one of the outside weapons?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, Jamar, you know, you can't teach what he's got. You know, his natural, you know, his DNA itself is valuable. But more importantly, you know, this year he's turned it up a notch. You know, and it started in the summer. You know, in the weight room. I mean, he got up to almost 210 pounds. You know, and he's worked it. You know, he's worked it. He's worked on his craft. He's worked on his, you know, his catching. You know, he's, you know, putting himself to be as a complete a player as he can be. So, you know, with him outside, it's always a problem. So, you know, it's a great problem to have for other teams.
Coach Figueroa, every time I go to a Santa Lucia's game, no matter where it's at, the one thing I notice about your guys' sideline is that the coaching staff is animated from start to finish in just a fun, exciting, but also demanding type of environment. How impactful has this coaching staff been for you, offense and defense and everywhere else?
Yeah, I mean, our staff, we're highly competitive guys, you know, and that's kind of the kind of people I like to surround myself with. You know, it's just guys that like to compete. You know, we spend a lot of time together as well off the field. We usually go out to eat after every game, you know, almost after every practice. You know, we spend a lot of time together. We kind of feed off each other, and then the kids feed off of that as well, you know. So just about being, you know, high intensity and super competitive people is kind of how, you know, I think football should be played. So kind of want to put those kind of people around the kids.
Coach, you have completely turned around that Santa Lucia's program. Playoffs with the expectations every year now. It's been at least 20 years since that school has won a playoff game. What would a win on Friday mean for that program?
Well, actually, we won the first one last year.
That's right. Oh, sorry. Yeah. No, he was so upset.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I was at that game, so I can testify. Palm Beach Gardens,
right.
that game went down to the wire, and that was a fantastic matchup.
Yeah. So we got that win off of us last year, and then so this year we're just trying to get 2 wins. So, and what sweeter fashion to beat 2 Miami teams, and you know, and beat, you know, the defending state champs. So that'll be an awesome get for us. But regardless, man, you know, we want to play hard. We want to play the style of football that we've been playing, and just kind of build on that, you know. So it's year 3 for me, and you know, we would love to go ahead and get in that regional championship game.
I'm curious, Coach. Did you what were the conversations like? You had that run against Forest Hill, Lake Worth, John I. Leonard, where y'all scored 60 plus in 3 straight games. Were coaches complaining? Was anybody contacting you? Like, I'm curious.
No, I believe it or not, nobody really complained. Nobody really complained. I think I got a complaint maybe the Forest Hill game, only because I think you know, our kicker ended up doing like a onside kick up like 60. But it's kind of my fault. You know, he has free reign to do whatever he wants, and if he sees a hole, he's gonna take it. And they gave us one, and he took it. But it wasn't like designed by me or me trying to do it on purpose. So I told him after that, I said, "Hey man, just kick the ball," you know. So, but again, that's just being competitive, you know, and even our kicker's competitive. So, you know, that was the only little bit of a hiccup that we had. But besides that, you know, it's football. We ran the football in the second half, and you know, just working on our stuff too. You know, I've heard a lot of people complain about you know, the running clock in high school football. When we went to Texas, there is no running clock. So just being able to just work on things. You know, we played 3 games and realistically, we didn't have a lot of time to work on different things, unfortunately, so that we kind of went into the Park Vista game a little lethargic, prepared on a Wednesday night the previous week. It was like a weird week. So just a total weird setup for us. And then that's why we started off a little bit slow against Vista. But, we took care of business in the second half, and, we went from there.
And now we're on to the postseason. Well, good luck with that. And then also, how's the soccer game going? Are y'all up in that one? Or?
It just started at 0-0. We just scored. Oh.
Look, you got updates there, live updates.
Yeah. The brothers here give me updates, so we figured it out. 1-0. So.
Perfect. And is this the kid that's playing? Is he the same one that also kicks for y'all, or?
No. This is my
a different
son.
son.
I mean, my son's playing. My brother plays. My brother's the kicker for me. I'm watching my son play here.
Okay, got you. I appreciate it. Coach Clavijo, good luck on Friday night. We'll see you out there at St. Lucius.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Yep. That was Hector Clavijo joining us. One of, 7 teams we have that made
in 7A?
In 7A, yeah. I think it was
8 teams. We got 8 teams.
Woo!
We got 5 in Region 3 and 3 in Region 4.
That's gonna be special. Again, we know we're gonna have some teams in the regional final and those ones, and I'm hoping we can see if St. Lucius and Boca Raton are able to make it out of that first and second round. It'll be special to see them play again. Kate, yeah, that's am I tripping, Brian? He said it's his brother kicks for him.
He did say that. I feel we need to do a little digging there.
Yeah, I should have asked a follow up right there. Was he throwing us off as scent? Is he? Kate, I mean, you heard it too. I'm confused
I heard
now.
it, and my first thought was like stepbrother. There's no way.
Yeah.
The same mom makes that happen. Unless
I don't know.
Is Hector way younger than we think he is right now?
His kicker is a sophomore named Christian Clavijo. This whole time I was led to believe it was his son. He's at his son's soccer match. Those things line up. I'm confused. I hate to
or investigative reporting.
Yeah, we'll figure that part out later. Just based on the vibe of these coaches that we brought in so far, though, y'all. Like again, we're looking to end this state title drought that has spanned over a decade. If I had to give you a scale of 0 to 10, how are y'all feeling on that actually being the likelihood this year? Let's start with you, Kate, since Brian keeps muting his mic.
Yeah. So I got to give it like a 7 because there have been so many teams that we thought were going to just be outstanding and then have come short in the playoffs. I mean, key in point, Atlantic last year against West Boca in the first round, losing on a Hail Mary. Jupiter last year losing to Boca Raton. And I know Boca's part of our region too, but we expected Jupiter to go a lot farther than they did. So it's how many of these teams can come in the clutch when we have to. And one game that we never got to talk about on High School Game Day because we never had High School Game Day this week was the game for the district championship for Atlantic on Thursday night. Mm-hmm. Atlantic playing Coconut Creek. The final score said 34-25 in favor of Atlantic. It was a great win. They won the district championship, sealed them the number 1 seed. They were down 11 points in the third quarter in that game, late in the third quarter, and they were able to score 20 unanswered. They looked awful in the first half. They could not run the ball whatsoever, and they couldn't pass protect whatsoever either. Lincoln Graff had no time whatsoever. But then they started quickening the pace a little bit. They started getting the shorter passes down. And I mean, Teddy Hoffman with 3 touchdowns in that game, taking one of the hardest hits in the end zone that I've ever seen. You can go check that out on ESPN West Palm Play. It's as a short right now or the full-length video. So to see Atlantic at home come back from a team that has seemed to have everyone's number in the Palm Beach County is Coconut Creek, who knocked off the West Boca last year. For Atlantic to come back in that game, that gives me a lot of hope that some of these teams can really push forward in these playoffs. And I want to correct one thing. I'm almost wrong. Brian, can you double check this? Yep. You said that Cardinal Newman and Shaman Amadana would play in the state championship. I think they would play in the state semis, if I'm correct. I think they're Region 3 and Region 4.
So I'm pretty sure the way the state semis work is they reseed.
Yeah, you get reseeded there.
You're right.
So it doesn't line up. So the way they are, I believe they're 1 and 2 essentially in the region. So they would only play. So that's the reason my confidence is essentially a 9. Because a lot of those boogeymen out there, hopefully some other teams can take care of. The paths are there to where Newman is going to be home all the way up until the state title game. West Boca, number 4 in the state, would be home all the way up until the state title game. Palm Beach Central could potentially go on the road in the state semis, but if one team falls, all of a sudden they're home. Atlantic could be home for a while. I think those 1 seeds and us having 4 1 seeds is why I feel pretty good about that drought ending this year, because now it's all on the teams in front of them. You got to take care of your own business, protect home field. You don't got to go on any long road trips. We talk about regional final time when we're making schedules like, all right, well, someone's going to be in Jacksonville and Well, Cade lives in Orlando, so maybe someone's coming there. I'm in Broward, so someone's here. I think we're going to be in Palm Beach County and the Treasure Coast regional final weekend.
That's the thing. And also, y'all keep talking about Chaminade Madonna. They got to go through St. John Paul II first.
That's right.
They got to see them first. I don't care if it's at the crib. So
first playoff game since 2015 for SJP. Maybe they're turning around things there. That would be a hell of a way to end their season.
I mean, it could be. I think that would be the most incredible upset we've seen, for sure, that I've seen with my own eyes. But then also, like, maybe in the history of high school football out here. But again, it's funny that you say that, because yes, there are a lot of routes for teams to at the very least make the state title game. And just like Chuck Kenyon said earlier, you're telling me there's a chance. Yeah. Who do we have? Do we have anybody? Any more coaches coming up? I know.
No, just messing. We can go a couple more minutes. I mean, Coach Murray, Coach Jankowski, they're running around. They're probably in their cars some right now. So maybe they'll pop on, but we can also wrap up soon. 21 teams. I think that's the important thing to remember here. We'll get going Friday night. I don't think we have any Thursdays. I'm sure that'll change, but 21 teams from our area trying to end that state title drought.
21 teams, 4 1 seeds. And yes, we do have a bunch of teams that play each other in that opening round. So we'll have to, we know we'll get a bunch of teams that advance. We'll have to settle things out and see what it looks like regional final week. I was looking at something specifically as I sifted through the brackets, and as we were talking about our confidence level, and I do wonder specifically this year, how strong of a push can Benjamin make to give us a Benjamin versus Cardinal Newman regional final?
They absolutely could make that happen. I'll pull up the bracket right now
First Baptist
is to go through.
First Baptist is the 2 seed. Benjamin is the 3 seed. And I think was First the team that beat Newman? First beat somebody this year.
They did. So Benjamin, also a reminder, as a 3 seed, they're on the road because they're not a district champion. We're used to seeing Newman versus Benjamin in the playoffs. The fact that we wouldn't see it at the end is a little weird, but I mean, you really can't count them out.
No, I wouldn't. I wouldn't at any point. I can't find. I'm looking through the schedule and I don't see any teams, so maybe I'm mistaking it for another year. But I do have some familiarity with this First Academy team, and I am curious as to what it looks like. What it looks like for Benjamin, and that just would be one of the best games that we see all year. Again, to see those two teams play again in the playoffs.
And we got another guest. We talked about one of the teams with high hopes, Coach Murray, Jamil Murray, Atlantic, one of the top teams in the area all year long, and now headed to the playoffs once again as the 1 seed in Class 7A.
Nice. How you doing, fellas?
We're doing good, Coach Murray. So when you where were you when you found out your matchup, or were you so certain that you were a 1 seed and you'd be at home anyways that you just waited on us to tweet it out?
Nah, we were in a coaches meeting. We had an extra day off with playing Thursday, so Friday we met after film as coaches, and then we kind of sat around just to see what was going to happen and how everything was going to play out.
Coach Atlantic, let's hold on.
Go ahead, Kate. You got it, Kate.
Yeah, let's go talk about that Thursday game. Coconut Creek has seemed to be the Achilles heel of any Palm Beach County or Treasure Coast team in the playoffs, but you guys come back from an 11-point deficit in the second half. What were the changes that you guys had to make in that second half in order to get back that game?
Just some personnel adjustments, changed up, but more importantly, just getting the guys to remain focused and on the task and just playing together as a team and sticking together.
How does that prepare you? Because that was essentially a playoff game. We knew you guys were in, but the district title was on the line Thursday. How did that sort of up the intensity and get you ready for this upcoming Friday now?
It helps us prepare, just a playoff mindset, playoff mentality. So that helped us prepare for this upcoming week. I feel like we've been in playoff games for the past 3 weeks already, seeing teams like Benjamin, West Boca, and then just Creek last week. So all those games kind of get us situated for the playoffs. All of them are playoff teams, and it just gets us ready mentally.
I feel like Lincoln Graff is one of those names. I feel like he's been starting for the past 8 years. Like he has so many reps, so many so many data points. How have you seen him grow? And how confident is he now going into his senior years, a playoff run where y'all are favored to get at least to the regional final?
Gotcha. Lincoln's been a great guy, great leader. He's seen him grow through the 4 years that he's been here. He's been doing really well, and it shows how well he understands the offense that Coach James has put together. They're working well together, and then just the next part of his growth is how he works and handles his teammates, how he communicates with them. And it shows, and it keeps the rest of the guys composed, and they truly believe in him. So he sees that, and he just tries to go out and pass it along each day.
Coach, we were just talking about how home field advantage could be a strength for a lot of teams in Palm Beach County. Atlantic in particular, I feel like when everyone shows out, that's one of the toughest places to play. What can you say about your home fan base and how impactful they've been?
Oh man, the community has been great. A lot of support from everyone. Just like today, we had a breakfast donated from a local spot. So the community's behind us. The fans are behind us. The city loves it. It's a football city. Everybody's all for it. So it just gives us a lot of momentum, a lot of energy, and a lot of focus while we're on the field, knowing that our fans are right there behind us.
You know, we talk about it, but in-house, how important is that 1 seed, if at all?
It's important, and I can't say it isn't. Just to have those opportunities to have games at home. Some things that we spoke about earlier in the season, and just trying to get people to come to us, and let's do our job, and however it falls, it falls. So it'll be nice not having to pack up and get on buses and trying to find our way through traffic jams, so allowing someone else to go through that, and we just take care of ourselves at home and stay comfortable.
Who's the best player in the county?
Ooh. Oh, no. A few of them. Lincoln, Teddy. Some good guys in the county, man. It's a ton of good kids here all over. Of course, I'm going to go for my guys, but the kids at Palm Beach Central, Benjamin, West Boca, the kids out in Glade, it's a lot of good talent in the area, and I think a lot of people are going to see how much talent is really in this area with how the playoffs turn out.
There was one right answer there, and you avoided it. I'm glad you did.
Well, I'll answer for that. Like, when it comes to Teddy, we enjoy watching him, and it's hard to shoot video when you're trying to also cheer him. Like, wait, what Teddy just do? As a coach, what's it like watching Teddy on Friday nights?
Man, I love seeing Teddy out there, man. He just enjoys the game, and he does it the right way, and he's just one of those guys. The same thing. What's next with Teddy? The ability that he has and the effort that he puts out there. Something's going to happen. It's just a matter of when. But also, even when he's not on the ball and the ball's going to other guys, other things are happening, he's cheering his teammates on and he's pushing those guys to do well is better. So that's a great thing to see with him as well. Just as excited as he is with the ball, he's helpful without it as well.
Coach, last question from me. I noticed when you're on the sideline, you're not necessarily having a headset on. You're not necessarily working too much with the offensive defensive coordinators. You may be sitting back when they do a huddle on the field, but you're still one of the most animated guys on the sideline. Where do you characterize your role as title of head coach, but a leader on the field?
Yeah, I see my role as trying to make sure everyone's okay, in a good headspace, control of the sideline, control of the game management, looking at those type of things from that standpoint. The coaches do a great job. We meet a lot, we discuss a lot, and those guys, I trust them to do their jobs as offensive coordinator, defensive coordinators, also position coaches. We have one of the best staffs in the county. So with that happening, I'm able to focus on, okay, when should we call this timeout, or what looks do we get? And the things that we've discussed at certain points that we talk about going into that matchup, I try to focus on those smaller details so I can kind of push that information to those guys as well. But the game plan is in, and what's in is what's in. So by Friday night, there shouldn't be too much extra anyway.
I mean, Atlantic Eagles right now, we could see you with the Philadelphia Eagles next year with that attitude. Lord knows they could use someone like that.
Hey, man, for sure. I've seen a lot of rhetoric around that. I have one last question for you too, Coach Murray. What did y'all take from that West Boca loss? How do you feel like your players responded from it?
Oh, man, that was a tough loss again. That was a tough loss again for the community as well. So we felt that throughout, not just on the field, but within the community, former players, former coaches. So it helped build us for sure. It showed us some strengths, and it also showed us some weaknesses and things that we can build on and become better. We already know teams in this playoff run is going to try to recopy what they've done and trying to instill that on us. So just trying to get back and be better for ourselves for that next matchup, and just going out and executing. But that's the game that we have to have every year, especially with that level of competition, and just keep competing. But it taught us a lot.
This far removed from it, are you happy that one was a loss, that you feel like players didn't get complacent, or are you're far enough removed from it to at least be honest with me here? Are you glad as a coach that you got that one?
with that, like I said, we always want to win games, but the best part about it was we were able to wake up and walk into a district championship matchup like it wasn't the end of everything. And that was my message to the kids on Monday and Saturday. But Monday for sure, when we started our new week after those 48 hours, just that game is over. We have a new focus. And the best thing about it is we have an opportunity to claim the 1 seed, to win a district championship. So we talk about sticking to our script. And our script was potentially being a 1 seed and winning a district championship. Of course, we wanted to beat West Boca, but that doesn't stop our plans of our future. So use it as a development tool, a learning tool, and was able to come out and be better and get in the win column again.
Love to see the bounce back. Coach, appreciate you taking our time, and good luck Friday night against Modern Academy Charter.
Appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you, fellas.
Thanks, Coach.
Yes, sir. That's Coach Jamel Murray with the Atlantic Eagles, one of the favorites if we're talking about teams that have a shot at winning a state title and breaking that drought to do so. And it is, it is important sometimes to see how your team's going to bounce back from a loss, especially with Atlantic, who do have a cast and character that are, it's Teddy Hoffman's new to that roster. Desinor, the running back, is new to their roster. CCAT says nobody wants to face these Eagles.
Agreed.
At the end of the year, and I think other opposing coaches would agree as well. Brian, Cade, any final thoughts on our initial brackets and seedings?
Brian, where's high school game day next week? Have we figured that out yet?
I think we might be seeing Coach Murray. We got to sort of confirm that, but the plan is to head to Delray. We haven't seen the Eagles this year, so we're going to head to Delray, see Atlantic. Also, some sort of breaking news. How about Tuesday afternoon, theoretically speaking? Maybe some Groza finalists announced?
Uh-oh.
Tuesday afternoon.
Uh-oh. He was like, I didn't see that coming. Yeah, that wasn't in my show sheet.
Okay. Theoretically speaking, 2:00 on Tuesday, we will release potentially, if I can agree to it, because you can't be asking me on the spot, Brian.
Yeah,
We'll see. We'll talk after this.
He's literally your director of content. I'm pretty sure he's the one guy who can say that.
You can't put me on the spot. I gotta, I still get to have some kind of autonomy over the show. We'll talk, Brian. God.
Team of the year, player of the year, coach of the year, kicker of the year. Let's go see some state championships won by our
Let's
teams.
do it. You're right, Brian. Let's do it. We'll do it on Tuesday, theoretically speaking, at 2:00. This was fun, guys. Looking forward to starting some postseason football and seeing these teams trend towards FIU. And then for Pahokee, the Villages.
Yes, the Villages. I already know where that is, but we'll figure it out. We'll be there. Shout out also, how about Coach Baz, Jupiter Christian, playing for the SSA state title next week, I believe, as well.
SSAA.
Yeah.
Didn't it used to be the SSAC or something? And
I thought so.
Yeah.
Whatever. Coach Baz just keeps winning, and they're playing for a ring next week. That's all that matters.
Yes.
Shout out to Jupiter Christian.
We'll see you next Friday night. Hopefully from Delray Beach, once Atlantic agrees to that as well. I'm Theo Dorsey. That's Brian Rhodes, Cade Chumplin. Thanks to all the coaches that joined us. Good luck. Stay healthy this week in practice.